You want me to go?
Yeah.
Oh.
I just read
Need some advice towards dating late in life. Oh, 28 late in life. Lulz. After having no prior experience. Would you recommend first focusing on myself and building a direction for myself and then begin dating or jumping straight in? Now, as I may never be ready, it's tough because dating at this age is odd without any experience and direction in comparison to my peers. Thank you for everything. All right, I feel like I got an answer to this, but you can go if you want.
Go for it.
So I don't think that, I think parallel processing, right? So I think you should absolutely work on yourself and jump in because I don't think you're ever going to be ready. So don't let ready get in the way of starting. And so, it's tough because dating at this age is odd without any experience and direction in comparison to my peers. That's true that you may be quote unquote behind, but it's been my experience that within 1 year or even less, you can have just as much experience as your peers, even if they've been dating their entire lives. And let me put it this way. So there are some people, so when I used to play Dota, I mean, I still do, but I remember I had a friend who told me that within the first 6 months of playing, starting to play Dota, you'll figure out the skill that people get to within the first 6 months is generally speaking, go for it, the skill that they'll be at for the rest of their careers. And you see this, right? If you play a game of Dota, myself, for example, if you look at my account, it's started playing Dota in 2011 and is in the bottom 50% of the skill pool. So if you think about it, it's not more time actually leads to you being better at something. What leads to you being better at something is intentional practice. So you can have people who started dating at the age of 15, were Mega Chad high school junior varsity captains, and they still suck at it because they never bothered to be intentional about understanding how a relationship works. And then you've got people who have been dating for 18 months and who are really good at it because they actually pay attention and try and do things like self-reflection. I'll have people who will come into my office who will be 45 and have been divorced 3 times. And I can imagine that if you're this person and you're oh, I haven't dated anyone, I'm 28, I'm behind. I'm bro, don't worry about it because there are people who are 45 and who are who have 25 years or 20 years of experience and are still suck at it. So don't confuse. So there's a difference between sure, you have no prior experience, but if you're thoughtful about it, if you pay attention, if you iterate, if you work on your game, you can catch up to people within a year, no problem. So I'd say don't wait, right? So start putting yourself out there, start looking for a relationship. By all means, continue working on yourself. This kind of goes back to the first question about don't wait for it, but also don't go so desperate that you need to find it in the next 6 months. So I'd say get started, get some experience, level up a little bit, but be intentional and you can catch up in no time.
I am very excited for you because here are a couple things that I feel I know about you. You're an amazing communicator already. In just these 4 sentences, you've communicated so much, so well. And the other thing is you say no prior experience. You might not have dated somebody, but I feel you do have experience in that. I think you might have made a few conscious decisions on not to pursue certain things, which is experience. You have discernment. I think that you're posing 2 scenarios. You build a direction for yourself and then begin dating, or you jump straight in now. And here's the thing. If you build yourself, and then here you are making tons of money and you have this big house and whatever, like the person that you attract as your best self, I'm not sure is the partner you want. I feel like you probably want a partner that's going to support your direction for yourself. Hey, so I've never been in a relationship, but I strongly feel the need for one. However, I very rarely find myself thinking I like anyone. And most of the times I do, I then, after some thought, realize I actually might not. How do you distinguish between sexual, intellectual, and romantic attraction? And how do you even know you like someone? Does it just happen? Do you have to go around and look for it? Do you have to like someone a little, get to know them, and then like them a lot? Or do you have to like them a lot in the first place? Thanks.
Good question.
I feel like there's a very simple answer.
I think so too.
What's yours?
What's yours?
No, I asked first.
So answer first.
That is not how it works.
Ladies first, dude. Come on.
No.
It's going to be the same answer.
1, 2, 3. I knew you wouldn't play.
1, 2, 3, what?
Say your answer. I mean, to me, it's like, does she turn you on?
That wasn't my answer.
That wasn't?
No.
What's your answer?
Okay, you do yours first.
I did already.
Can you explain it?
Intellectual and romantic attraction don't matter if there's not sexual attraction for a relationship, anyway. So, does this person turn you on? Does this person float your boat, check your boxes, flip your switch?
Make the magic happen.
Right.
All right.
What was your answer?
I mean, so I'd say like, okay, so. All right, let's go back to this. So like, I find myself thinking I like anyone, and most of the times I do. I then, after some thought, realize I might actually not. How do you distinguish between these three kinds of interaction? How do you know you like someone? So like, this sounds to me to be like overly intellectual, right? So it's like, I find myself liking someone, and then I think through it, and then I realize I might not. So like, I think that the answer here is about think less and experience more.
In your pants.
Right? So how do you even know you like someone? Like, that's not an answer you can figure out in your head. It's an answer that you have to figure out through experience.
In your pants.
And in your pants. Do you have to go around and look for it? Sometimes. Do you have to like someone a little and get to know them? Sometimes. So I'd say that I'd be careful about what your mind keeps you from doing. And I'd encourage you to, like, if you find yourself attracted to someone, try to have a relationship with them and recognize, like, watch out, because then your mind is going to, like, start generating certain thoughts. Like, oh, you don't like this person for reasons like A, B, and C. But the problem is that your mind can use logic, but, like, the logic that it has is going to be founded on your experience. So you need to collect more data so that your logical function has more to work with. How do you distinguish between sexual, intellectual, and romantic attraction? Like, sexual is something you feel in your pants, right? Intellectual attraction, I imagine, is something that you're, like, kind of interested in what this person, like, thinks and says. And romantic is, like, hard to describe because I think it's primarily emotional. It's not going to be, like, it's not going to be something, I mean, sure, you can learn to distinguish it. You have to feel it. Like, a romantic attraction is, like, it's something that's felt. It's not something that's logicked to do. So, what I'd say to this person is, if you find yourself, like, overly thinking relationships and convincing yourself that you might not actually like someone, like, just pay attention to what your mind is doing, because there's a decent chance that your mind is protecting you from, or you have some kind of fear or anxiety that your logical system is, like, protecting you.
Yeah, I was going to ask, like, do you feel like this person's, like, ashamed of something, or, like, would only want a relationship with this kind of person, or
maybe shame, I'm not sure, but I'm just saying, like, it sounds like you have feelings towards someone and you logic your way out of your feelings.
But why would somebody do that?
We'd have to talk to them. I think that, yeah, maybe there's some kind of fear or, like, negative emotion, but I'd say, like, experience more, like, level up, like, jump into the water from time to time and just see how you feel. have a sexual relationship, have an intellectual relationship, and have a romantic relationship. Then you'll be able to tell the difference.
Yeah. Okay. Agree.